5 years after the mass shooting at Pulse, many people are reflecting on Orlando's darkest day.
Mayor Buddy Dyer was the city's front man. He tells Fox 35's Holly Bristow why it took him a full year to grasp what happened in our city.
This is probably the most difficult day in the history of Orlando.
When I had to go back out there and tell everybody that there were 50 people, including the shooter, that were dead, I just saw people like you that were just in shock, and they were hardened journalist reporters, and you could have heard a pin drop, and that, I was kind of choking up, and that was the toughest thing for me to get through.
It's tough. It's still tough to think about it.
Oh yeah, I have to get mentally prepared, when the anniversary comes around, to relive everything that happened that night, and then the days and weeks ensuing after that.
Does it feel like 5 years have gone by since then?
I don't know. I was just thinking about that, and in some ways it seems so long ago, and then in other ways it just seems like yesterday.
How long after Pulse did it truly hit you as to what had gone down?
So we made sure that our first responders got a lot of attention in terms of whatever they needed in terms of resources for dealing with whatever issues they may have. But we also made sure that our staff had that as well. One of the sessions, we brought in a counselor here, and we did a group session with probably 15 or so of my staff here on the third floor. And I had gotten a call from a counselor friend of mine just checking on me a couple days before that. And she said, "How are you doing?" I said, "I'm doing okay, but I don't really feel the sadness, or I don't have the response that I expected that I would have." And she said, "You can't have that because you're in the moment. You're leading. You can't break down in front of a crowd or anything like that, and that's to be expected. You're right now in the midst of doing your job, and it'll hit you at some point, but you need to understand that emotion probably isn't going to show up for a while." And when I told that story at that counseling session, 3 or 4 of the other staff members said, "Mayor, thank you for telling us that, because we feel the exact same way." So it didn't hit me till later on. And really, it probably, Holly, I would say, was more when it was leading up to the 1 year marking of 1 year, because I then had interviews like this where I started reliving that day and the events that occurred afterwards, and that's kind of, I would say, when I came to grips with it.
How has this event changed you?
I think it emphasized things that I already knew about, being very conscious about different cultures and different needs of different people in our city and in our community. We're a city that embraces diversity and equality and fairness, inclusion, but I think I learned that I needed to work harder at that and lead the city in that direction.
Light shines in the darkness.
For the worst day in Orlando history, what do you think is the rainbow at the end of this?
How our community responded. Without question, I couldn't be more proud of the people of this community and the fashion that they responded with love and unity and compassion. Thousands of people in lines to give blood, people bringing food to the first responders and the people out on the street. And if there is a silver lining, it's the fact of how our community responded in a unified manner.